uterine inertia. So what happens in uterine inertia? So here the contractions will not be very forceful enough. Okay, it can occur at any stage. It can either occur in first stage, second stage, or third stage itself. So it is just a kind of hypotonic. Okay, hypotonia is more marked here in uterine inertia, and the intrauterine pressure will be less than 25 mg, and cervical dilatation will also be less than 1 centimeter. Okay, so remember, in uterine inertia there will be no strong contraction force. Okay, and the intrauterine pressure will also be less than 25 centimeter, and the cervix will dilatation will also be less than 1 centimeter. This is hypotonic state. Whereas in hypertonic, we consider the terminology that is incoordinated uterine action, where it can this particular abnormality can also occur in any stage of labor. Here, the uterine tone, it will be more than 25 mg. So it can also extend more than 60 mmHg also, but there is no progressive cervical dilatation and effacement. So the uterus is continuously contracting, but there will be no relaxation phase. So one will not be able to see cervical dilatation as well as effacement in incoordinated uterine action. So here you will have various other causes. It could either be because of the spastic lower uterine segment, constriction ring, or generalized tonic contraction. Okay, what do you mean by spastic lower uterine segment? So here what happens, only the lower uterine segment it contracts, so there will be no relaxation phase. Okay, and there is inadequate, even if it is present, it will be very much inadequate. That is spastic lower uterine segment. There is another thing called constriction ring. This is also called as the Schroeder's ring, where there will be localized myometrial contraction. Generalized contractions won't be there, but only at one particular point, that is at the junction between the upper and lower uterine segment, there will be uterine contraction, and that can lead to a formation of a constriction ring. So this, in the later stages, it can lead to fetal jeopardy, where there can be suffocation. This mainly occurs at the region of the neck, remember, that is constriction ring or Schroeder's ring. Then there is generalized tonic contraction. So here what happens, there will be no formation of lower uterine segment. Okay, remember, in generalized tonic contraction, there will be no formation of the uterine segment. Okay, and that is also called as the uterine tetany. So usually normally the uterine contraction begins from above at the top of the body of uterus, and then it progresses downwards. But in generalized, the entire both the upper and lower segment, it will contract simultaneously. So there will be no formation of upper and lower uterine segment. Then there is something called Ball's ring. So this is very important. Remember, the Ball's ring or pathological retraction ring is mainly seen in case of obstructed labor. Okay, here there will be tonic uterine contraction and retraction, and this is most common in case of multipara. So what happens here is, normally it will begin, there will be uterine contraction, retraction takes place, and there will be formation of uterine segment. But if there is obstructed labor, that is, if the fetus is not able to come out either because of any placenta previa or any obstruction at the outlet, so what happens, the retraction process, it will continue, and that it can lead to thinning of the lower uterine segment and later leading to rupture. Okay, and that the ring which we will see a physiological ring. Okay, but because of the progressive tonic contraction retraction, that particular ring will ascend upwards. Okay, it will ascend from the lower segment to the upwards, and that can lead to something called Ball's ring or pathological retraction ring. So one thing here you have to remember is, Ball's ring is mainly seen in obstructed labor, and it is common in multipara. Remember that. Now coming to